Hey, what's up, homies? This is my day 2 vlog. Not that I'm counting days, I'm just saying this is like the second consecutive day. So this is the following day of the vlog I just posted. Yes! And obviously I've got a coffee and I've been chilling out, and another thing that came to my mind that I want to share is funny because it's actually it's like the precursor to yesterday's video, but given the fact that we spoke of the simultaneity of everything in existence, then it kind of makes sense that the day after that vlog would come the precursor. I spoke yesterday about what did I speak of yesterday? Man, my arm is sore already. How do y'all do it? Okay, picnic table, perfect. Yeah, yesterday I spoke about an experience that I had that really helped clarify my understanding of like frequency, like scientifically, like, oh, okay, it's not something I need to do. And so today I'm going to tell you about an experience that happened about 1.5 years before that one. That was the actual like event of my life that helped me understand frequency on a very personal, very like visceral, physical level. But before I do that, I'm just gonna like keep divulging like a little bit about me each time I do these vlogs and tell a story. So I also want to talk about like my personality, in the sense that it's not structured really like some people who would approach this work would like it to be, sort of thing. So that's why I always say, like, Hendrix, boy, I ain't for everybody. So I mean, if you think it's funny and you like how real I am, then yeah, you will love these videos. So give them a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. But yeah, there are some people that, you know, think that principles of a spiritual practice should be lived in a certain way, and I mean, that's just a cloak, you guys. You could wear a white robe, you could go to yoga, you could meditate, you could use crystals to sonicify yourself into healing states and higher frequencies, but I mean, ultimately what's going to sustain it is you understanding, like I said yesterday about attention span, you understanding how to milk a frequency. Because if you don't milk a frequency, if something else comes along, you will just, you know, sort of like I do when people walk by me when I'm talking like this to a camera, you'll lose your train of thought. You'll lose your momentum of vibration. You'll lose your train of frequency. You'll lose that state of being. And so that's okay. I mean, like, just watch professional sports players or children. I mean, they go down, but they get back up again, and you ain't never gonna keep them down. I said they get knocked down, but they get up again. And so the same thing with me too, only it's really cool that I get to say this. I do that all the time, especially like when I'm talking to people, and when I do it, it's like people just don't notice that I do it. Because I said, like, their attention span just doesn't pick up on it. It's like, do you ever lose your keys and then go around your house in like a fit of rage until you're about to leave, and then you look and they're on the counter and you're like, oh fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? They weren't there. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have the frequency state to actualize them there. You were more worried about them not being there, so the universe cooperated with you. Oh, that's nice. Nice little horn there for dramatic effect, as always. Thank you, universal forces. You'll also notice that I'm in the shade today. Fuck yes, I ain't going in that sun no more. I'm not as burnt as I thought I would be though. But yes, where was I? Divulging all my secrets. Yeah, so if you sort of get, I got knocked down, or like, oh God, that negative thought I keep thinking, or there's that thing that I'm trying to change in my life right there, that thing I'm trying to change. It's cool. That's why I said, I don't know if I said it yesterday actually, but like I'll say it now. It's sort of like you gotta be aware of where your reality's directing your energy, and then you've got to redirect it the way that you prefer to direct it. And if your eyes are glued to reality, I mean, that's just gonna be hard for you to do. You'll complain about getting knocked down. You'll make up stories about who knocked you down and why you can't get back up and all that stuff. And meanwhile, there are people out there who just get the fuck back up, bitch. They just get up. They get up. Some people just get up and do it. They get up and do it. And so the more and more you glue your eyes to the prize, which is your desire, which is already existing, you want to receive it. So you'll learn to do that in your own way. And so I'm not going to throw principles down your throat and say these are what you, because there's a lot of, like, you know, there's a lot of lip syncers in this industry. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I might not be like the most like professionally presented, and I will never be in the sense of what people want. I mean, I'm me. I don't want to be a guru or a teacher or anything like that. But I love talking to people, and I love watching someone's energy shift into that click of alignment, and then see the pouring of energy through them, and then watch as they light up with the jackpot signs in their eyes. And I know that that's going to translate into their life in artistic ways, in just joyous ways, just like their attention span will be such that they'll be the realizers not only of the keys on their counter when they want them, but the perfect timing of noticing synchronicity in their life that's always going on. You see what I'm saying? So you get to do that when you hang around in this frequency. That's why a lot of people say to me like, oh, you're always so aware, Daniel. You're just making shit up. You're just looking for those numbers. You're looking for that synchronicity. You're looking for it. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm looking for it, doggy. Fuck. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm looking for it, but I ain't looking for the synchronicity themselves. I'm in a state of expectation of wonderlustful, delicious synchronicities just to happen. And so they do. Like, I just look at the clock at the right time with the right person, or I'm talking to someone in person, and then the next person that walks in the room is wearing a t-shirt, like, you know, exactly appropriate to the conversation. And it's just sort of like, it's like the universe got our back, man. And I don't claim that I've got any sort of leverage over anybody in noticing those things. I'm just saying, here's the thing. Here, and even if I talk about it, you won't hear it that way anyway. You're just denying that it's actually that easy. No, it might not be that easy. It's that simple. But you're denying it to be that easy for you. I just have, you know what? And it took a lot of letting go of heavy processes to actually just let it be that easy, because, and only because, I came to know that it is that simple. Like, it really is. But if you think you gotta do a bunch of other shit, wear a white robe, and do certain things that don't even feel good when you do them, and have conversations that don't feel enlivened as you have them, they don't have life to them, they don't have this panting for exploration and creativity and fun and clarity. That's what I mean about attention span. So, I know I look like a weirdo. If you heard the conversation, it'd be worse. So, what I want to talk about today, now that I got that out of the way, and we'll pick at that here and there. Because like I said, I do want to be one who works with people in the inspirational capacity. Oh damn, this little shit just fell on me as I said that. See? Universe got my back. It's got yours too, if you just let it be easily seen. Because it's simply happening. So yeah, anyway, I'm just like this kind of guy, and I don't intend on modifying my personality to be accepted in some sort of, like, you know, secular whatever or circle, like professional etiquette and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, motherfucker, your homeboy cleans up and he can present well, but it's sort of, it's just, you know, there's never a crowd on the leading edge. You know what I mean? So I prefer just to be off in my own world and come back into reality when I see someone interesting to talk to, or I have an endeavor that I'm embarking upon that is fun and I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that's just a little bit like about my personality, because I know some people might say, you know, they have said, you know, like I swear, or, you know, my jokes kind of cut close and to like offensiveness and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I'm an actor as well, like foremost, and I'm a comedian, and the number one thing about a comedian that I've learned from the queen of comedy, Joan Rivers, is she always said that she's a comedian and she never apologizes for a joke. So if you're lighthearted, you will just get benefit from everything. You won't have time to think about something that offended you because you don't want to feel offended, and you don't need the offender to amend what they did that offended you for you not to feel offended. You know what I'm saying? So, so yeah, now let's talk about, yesterday I spoke on that experience where I had that communication that I was crying for. You know, not crying, but I was angry. Passionately angry. And, yeah. And so a precursor to that, how I learned about frequency in the most, like, intense way, was in like 7 years ago. I counted on my fingers before the video. 7 years ago, I had an experience. It was like 2008, and you know, it was around this time of year, and this is a year and a half before this experience happened that I spoke of with the higher frequency beings that showed me what receptivity really means and what I would need to do to stay connected to that, which I have made my practice. It was like, yeah, about this time of year, about May in 2008, and I was, just give me 1 sec now, I'll just have a sip of coffee at this time. Good time for a little bit of refreshment.
For the airport. I remember I would sit in it in the airport.
Oh, nice. I also love that the little boy was like, airport, airport, because, yeah, I love airports. I love flying. I love traveling. Maybe I'll see some of y'all soon. So, yeah, so I was, like, the first time I really, like, took notice of it was, like, when I was in the grocery store and I was looking at some products. I think they were, like, breakfast cereals, and I was looking so closely at the ingredients to like see what was in them, and they were like whole food based, organic, and I was trying to figure out the difference between the two because they were so eerily similar, and I needed to know, and I was denying my impulse of frequency because I had to read the ingredients to know. I couldn't just go with my gut, and that was tearing me apart. And so like I had these like intense heart palpitations that would just go on and on. And so I actually lost my vision, my eyes. If you get up like really quick, you know how your vision fades from the outside in, it goes black and then you can't see. That happened in the aisle of the grocery store, which was pretty cool. Not, yeah, it was scary. And so I was like Googling everything about like heart palpitations that I could find, and like why did I lose my vision and what's going on and like what's wrong with my heart. Didn't relate it to frequency or anything at this point. My spiritual journey at that point was a little different. It wasn't so simple, as you can tell with me fucking scrutinizing cereal boxes. And so, yeah, then after that, I was with a personal trainer at the time, and like my heart started doing it again, and then I blacked out again, and I continued talking though, I just couldn't see. And the trainer's like, you okay? And I was like, oh, I didn't know if he could tell or not, like, cause I don't know. I just thought if I just stood still and let him talk as he was, that it would be okay. But yeah. So that was an awkward situation. And after that, I was like, okay, something's up. But it wasn't until like a month later, and this is like also following waking up in the middle of the night with like intense heartbeats. I didn't know how to like count it or whatever. I just didn't even feel like I was in my body. Like I couldn't move. I felt like I could run a fucking marathon like that. Like Iron Man, Tough Mudder, you name it, I could have ran it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but I'm just so chill. And so I didn't know what to do. And so this one night I woke up and it was crazy, like my heart. And so I wanted to call 911, but I was still kind of scared because I didn't want the paramedics to like, hey, true story. Yeah, so I was afraid of the paramedics. So I was like, maybe I'll just go to the hospital. And so I called my friend, and it was like really late at night, and my friend kind of wasn't really enthusiastic to drive me to the hospital, to be honest, and was like, maybe it's like, are you high? I'm like, hi, what the fuck? I'm not on drugs. I don't do drugs. And so I just hung up the phone immediately because it was like this energy stream was way too powerful. There was no time for anything else. So I called a taxi. Yeah. My heart is like still not stopping, like really, 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 really fast. And so I took a cab. It wasn't that far actually to the hospital here in Toronto. And I walked in and I looked at the triage nurse and I said, like faintly as I could, I'm taking a heart attack. And then I collapsed, which is funny because I was like 22 or 23 at the time. And so I woke up, like came to, so to speak, like in the hospital bed, and all these doctors were all around me, and they're like, Dan, just chill out, buddy, chill out. They were putting like cold blankets on me and stuff like that. Nothing was working. They were administering drugs that they normally would give someone who had heart palpitations that came into the ER, and they weren't working. And just before they administered like the last drug, which would have chemically like killed me, which I overheard them actually say, they ran analysis or whatever, and they found out that I actually had something very rare, something to do exactly with frequency. So yeah, well, here, I'll just tell you, the funny thing was, they couldn't administer any more drugs because they were like, okay, this is not, like, we can't do this way. So they were getting ready to like defibrillate me. And so they gave me some like drug to calm me down. But I was already calmed down. I'm telling you right now, you guys, like it was like a metronome. Like I was like, this was like my, I guess, first out of body, but it was so fucking crazy that I didn't even look at it that way. But like my consciousness, like I could feel myself go like this, you know, when they say you're dead and you look over your body, and I was like that, and then I would like swing back in, go in my body, but go out, sort of like if you ran through like a water fountain, and then ran through a water fountain, and then ran through a water fountain, and then ran through a water fountain. So I was like, what the fuck? So I couldn't muster enough energy while I was in the body at the time, swinging through it, to say anything to the doctors, to really move my body. Like I said, I felt like I could run a marathon, but when it came time for me to like be able to use my body, I just couldn't. I was like, okay, so I want to keep these short because they take so long to render, and I'm not an editor, so, or a renderer, renderer. So yeah, anyway, just as they were like about to defibrillate the fuck out of me, they were like, don't worry, it's not gonna burn, it's not gonna hurt. Everything's gonna be fine, Daniel. Don't you worry your little heart. Yeah. So, they were putting like these patches on my back and on my front, like where my heart is, so that they could defibrillate on there. And so they put one on my chest, and they lifted me over, and they were gonna put it on my back. And the motherfucking pad was so cold that, like, you know, if someone took, you know, that commercial where bitches have like a can of Sprite or a bottle of Sprite, and it's like, oh, and they're putting it over their body because it's cool. Well, think of it like that. That effect, like, just shocked me, and my heart started going bum 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 bum. They all looked at each other like there was like 7 doctors. It was sort of like a scene. They're like, what's going on with this young boy? Like, why is he taking a heart attack? And so So yeah, I was not defibrillated, and then the bitch was like, you know, it would have hurt like hell, and you would have had burns when you woke up. And I was like, fuck, bitch, like, wow, you lie like my mother, hard. So yeah, then they told me that I had something, which is called WPW, which is an acronym for Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, and it affects like less than 0.1 of the population, and basically what it is, like physiologically, is that it's I had, in my case, an extra electrical node in my left atrium, which you're born with, and it became active. And some people aren't symptomatic, some people have little symptoms. I was like severely symptomatic. They gave me medications, I went in for a study, and then like within 2 weeks they like went in with wires through like my groin and my neck, and they went zzz, 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 and they're like, don't worry, you'll never operate on that frequency again. Years later I was like, no. No, it actually didn't have any effect on my spiritual growth in terms of like acclimating to higher frequencies, acquiescing to higher aspects of myself. But that was like another like, remember this, Daniel. This is a note. Because what my heart would do is it would literally jump to the functioning of that frequency. And like I said, that was me in and out of my body. So that like gave me like a real solid perspective on like multidimensionality and frequency. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe you don't, but that's what I'm saying. And so yeah, so that was kind of like the setup to what I talked about in my video yesterday, which was about attention span and stuff like that. So I don't know, just wanted to share that story with you guys too. I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm gonna keep this short. I think I finished the story. I just wanted to tell y'all that like before these higher frequency beings came and showed me about relativity and frequency and how you must not only get to the high frequency, you gotta stay there for a little while. It's like, you know, when you try like a new like I don't know, like product, you know, for like your skin, or you try like a new drug or something like that, and it's gotta have an effect, and you gotta wait a little bit before you see the difference. But some people don't wait. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but yeah, you gotta wait a little bit, like wait 6 to 8 weeks before you see results. It's sort of like that. Like when you're going into the higher frequencies, remember, like your outer reality is a reflection, but it's like the cavernous reality, I like to call it, because what you put out, you get back in that sense. It's like, it's resonance, reverberation, echo. So for a little while, things aren't going to be different. They're still going to be maybe a little bit the way, mostly maybe, the way that they were, because it takes a momentum change. It takes a practice of the new frequency for that to be fully reflected. So that's what I'm talking about, like with attention span too. Most people get discouraged with this work because they're worried about what she's doing, what he's doing, what he's wearing, what he's not doing, what he is doing, and like, or like, am I doing it? Am I getting the things I want? Am I getting them? And you're forgetting, it's not about you, am I getting the things I want? It's you have the things you want, and now are you physically translating the things you want? You already have them. Maybe that'll be a good video for tomorrow, like knowing knowing the other aspect of yourself. So yeah guys, that was a little thing about frequency that I learned with my heart. Everything is fine. I have not had problems since, but I guess you could say that I learned how to balance those frequencies so that I don't actually do that anymore. That was like me, you know, driving on the highway and you're going off the road into the rail pit, it's like brrr, that experience, and then the experience of those beings, I was like, okay, y'all are telling me something, and that led me to like pinching myself to be in a high frequency for long enough to be like, oh yeah, I get it. Oh, I get it. I'm getting access. Brrr. And that's what I attribute to like wit, cleverness, unending energy, like just a tenacious appetite for higher frequency and broader perspective, and taking that into the nitty-gritties of everything and watching how that translates into the equivalent of your vibration, obviously. So If you like this video, and you, I don't know, you want to talk to me about it or anything in it, or you want to ask me questions, you can do that in the comments below. Yeah, but that's it. Professional, faux show. Yeah. Oh, nice cue. I'm out of here. Alright guys, thanks again. Remember, all I do is I chill out because life's a dream, so I'm encouraging you to let loose and live lucid because your life really is a dream and it's only you that's making it come true, bitches. So yeah, maybe I'll see you tomorrow or next time. Alright? See you later, homies.